My dear students, welcome to the preparation strategy regarding GATE and ESC. First, let me introduce myself. I am P. Somasekhar. Generally, students called me as a Somu Sir. Easy to remember. Right. Here, I am the faculty working as faculty in H Engineering Academy. I deal the subject design of concrete structures. My dear, today we will see how to prepare the subject for GATE and ESC. Okay. Before going to tell you which topics you need to focus and which topics you need to take light, let me give you weightage of this subject in GATE and ESC as well as the syllabus given for GATE and ESC. Firstly, if you check the previous GATE questions, my dear, there are 3 consecutive years. If you check the weightage on an average, you may expect 6 to 8 marks, right? But the last 3 years, if you check, it is given 1 year given 3 marks, another year given 5 marks, like that. But it is not constant, right? Every year it will change. But on an average, you may expect minimum 5 to 6 marks. Minimum 5 to 6 marks you may expect from RCC and PSC. Okay, right. Let us come to the ESC. If you check ESC, my dear, last year, if you check, highest weightage given for a strength of materials. Thereafter, if you check, next second highest is given for design of concrete structures. My dear, 15 questions given. In strength of materials given 18 questions. After that, next highest weightage is, my dear, design of concrete structures. If you talk about concrete technology, that is concrete related questions also, even from building materials, like 5 to 6 questions you may expect. It means nearly 20 questions, minimum to minimum you can expect from this subject in ESC. ESC will have very good weightage in prelims as well as in mains regarding design of concrete structures. Okay. Then coming to the next one, syllabus. Let us see first in GATE, RCC and PSC, working stress and limit state design concepts, design of beams, slabs, columns, bond and development length, pre-stressed concrete beams. Here, most of the students will ignore working stress method, but they're asking questions even from working stress method, right? So don't ignore the working stress method either in a GATE or in ESC. If you check in ESC, nearly 6 questions asked last time only from working stress method, right? So don't ignore working stress method. They are not asking very lengthy questions, simple basic questions only they are asking. Okay, fine. Coming to the pre-stressed concrete, here simply given pre-stressed concrete beams like this, my dear. Here from pre-stressed concrete, minimum 1 question, maximum 2 questions you may expect in GATE exam. Minimum 1 question and maximum 2 questions, not more than that. Coming to the construction materials part, structural steel, composition material, properties and behavior, concrete, constituents, mixed design, short-term and long-term properties. Mostly questions will ask either from cement or from concrete, especially in cements related to the box compounds or related to the test they are going to ask questions. Coming to the next one, my dear, concrete. Yes, from concrete also mostly questions asked based on the laboratory tests. Coming to the ESC syllabus, if you check, I will discuss in detail what are the topics to be available from each chapter and where do you focus more and where do you take light, I'll tell you. Coming to the syllabus in ESC regarding RCC and PSC, if you check, limit state design for bending, shear, axial compression and combined forces, design of beams, slabs, lintels, foundations, retaining walls, tanks, staircases, principles of prestressed concrete design including materials and methods, earthquake resistant design structures, design of masonry structures. The questions from masonry structures rarely asked. Okay. Coming to the building materials, stone, lime, glass, plastic, steel, FRP, ceramics, aluminum, fly ash, basic admixtures, timber, brick and aggregates, classification, properties, selection criteria, cement, my dear, here onwards, concrete related material, classification, properties, selection criteria, then cement, types, composition, properties, uses, specifications and various tests, lime, cement, mortar and concrete, properties, various tests, design of concrete mixes, proportioning of aggregate and methods of mixed design. Mostly questions will ask in ESE also from cement as well as from concrete, especially based on tests. Now, let me give you this syllabus into number of chapters. I have given here list of chapters. Let me give you the list of chapters as per the syllabus is fundamentals in working stress method, then singly reinforced beams from working stress method, doubly reinforced beams from working stress method, fundamentals in limit state method, singly reinforced beams in limit state method, doubly reinforced beams in limit state method, flanged beams in limit state method, limit state of collapse from shear, bond, limit state of collapse torsion, then slabs, limit state of collapse compression, footings, then limit state of serviceability, fundamentals in prestressed concrete, analysis of prestress and bending stresses, losses of prestress, deflection of prestressed concrete members. My dear, up to this, that is up to the chapter number 18, it is common for GATE and ESC. Now these are the additional topics for ESC: miscellaneous, retaining walls, staircases, lintels, water tanks, then earthquake resistant design. Right? Here GATE point of view, my dear, you have to focus more for a singly reinforced beams. Yes, you have to focus more in singly reinforced beams, that too from limit state method. Then shear, you have to focus from shear chapter. After that, you need to focus columns, limit state of collapse, compression, right? These chapters you need to focus more because most of the times questions are repeated from these chapters, right? Coming to the next one, here in every chapter what are the topics will be available and which topics you need to focus, that part I will tell you here. Then coming to the cement, aggregate, water, then concrete. Chapter-wise topics. Let us see the fundamentals from working stress method. Here, first one, methods of design. Here, it is only for knowing the information, what are the various methods available. But questions are not going to ask from this. It is just for the knowing information. My dear, after that, drawbacks in working stress method. Before that, my dear, in working stress method, mostly they are going to ask factor of safety. What is the factor of safety for steel? What is the factor of safety for concrete? What is the definition of factor of safety? And why it is called modular ratio method? Why is it called stress governing method? And why is it called elastic method? Right, this type of questions you may expect in exam. Coming to the drawbacks in working stress method. In drawbacks also, my dear, there are few points you need to focus, like short-term modulus of elasticity, long-term modulus of elasticity. These points are important. Coming to the assumptions, all assumptions are important. All assumptions are important. Right? You have to, my dear, focus assumptions, because most of the times they are going to ask question from assumptions. Coming to the permissible stresses in concrete and permissible stresses in steel. Here, my dear, most of the students will trying to by heart these values. No need. No need. Simply you have to remember the factor of safety. Then how to get permissible stresses, my dear, I have given in detail in class. You just to go through once. Okay, now? Fine. Here permissible stresses in concrete and permissible stresses in steel. Thereafter, equivalent area. Here, let me tell you, most of the students will have a fear about RCC, because more number of formulas are present, that too few formulas are too lengthy. Here, if you know force, stress, area, centroid and moment, only these 5 things if you know clearly, how to get the force, how to find the stress, how to find the area, how to find the centroid, then finally how to find the moment. If you know these 5 things, most of numerical questions in RCC you can solve. Right? Okay. Coming to the next one, next chapter, beam. What is a beam? Then singly reinforced beam, just a definition. Right? Here, effective depth, it is also a definition. Analysis, yes, mostly numerical questions will begin from analysis, especially critical depth of neutral axis. Maybe it is going to ask from working stress method alone, or they are going to link with the limit state method. And theoretical question also you may expect, critical depth of neutral axis depends on what, like that. After that, my dear, compressive force, tensile force, right? Lever arm definition. If you know these basic definitions and how to get forces as well as the lever arm, then easily you can find out, my dear, the lengthy concepts. Here, actual depth of neutral axis. What is the concept to find the actual depth of neutral axis? You have to, my dear, write down in short notes only concept. Okay. Once if you remember the concept, whenever you require, easily you can able to write down. That's why better to write down the short notes. In short notes, you have to write only the concept. Coming to the modes of failure, yes, it is very important. Here you need to focus. Most of the theoretical questions, concept-based theoretical questions asked from this concept, like what is a balanced section, what is under-reinforced section, what is over-reinforced section, which section is a safe, right? Which section will have better ductility. This type of theoretical concept-based questions you may expect. Coming to the next one, moment of resistance. Yes. To find out moment of resistance, my dear, you must know how to calculate critical depth of neutral axis, how to calculate actual depth of neutral axis, and how to relate these two neutral axes. If you know that, then easily you can find out moment of resistance. Most of the times in RCC questions from limit state method especially, they are going to ask moment of resistance or depth of neutral axis related questions. Okay, it is from working stress method. Then percentage of tension steel for a critical section. Then comparison between under-reinforced, balanced and over-reinforced sections. Just now I told They are going to compare these three sections. Which section is having more area of steel? Which section depth of neutral axis is higher? Which section lever arm will be higher? This type of theoretical questions they may frame, they may ask in exam. Okay, coming to the next chapter, doubly reinforced beams. From this chapter, you have to focus need of doubly reinforced beams, right? After that, critical depth of neutral axis, remaining moment of resistance based questions, you need not be focused because very lengthy formulas. Here, if you check from last 3 to 4 years, they are not asking very lengthy numerical questions even from RCC. Simple questions only they are asking. Okay, because scientific calculator is not permitted into the examination hall. That's why they are going to ask simple basic level questions only. Okay, right. Next one, fundamentals in limit state method. Right. It is also one of the most important chapter for GATE as well as for ESC. Right. Because it is a basic chapter to test your fundamentals. There is a chance to frame a question from this chapter. If you check here, limit state method, it is only for knowing what is the limit state method. Then what is the limit state? This is a definition, right? Then types of limit states. There are two types of limit states, like limit state of collapse and limit state of serviceability. Under limit state of collapse, we can design the structural members. Under limit state of serviceability, we are going to check the design members, right? Here, design load, yes, there is a chance to ask in GATE as well as in ESC. I think last before year in conventional, they have asked this design load question, right? Fine. Coming to the characteristic load, very important characteristic load. It is a basic definition. My dear, there is a chance to ask this time about characteristic load, one simple numerical question. Then values of a partial safety factor for loads. Yes, partial safety factors recommended by IS code for the different load combinations like a dead load plus live load, dead load plus wind load, dead load plus live load plus wind load. For this type of load combinations, which partial safety factors recommended by IS code? So there is a chance to ask question from load combinations also. Then design strength. You must know how to find a design strength. Directly they are not going to ask what is the design strength. They will link up two concepts. Let us say, find out the actual depth of neutral axis. For that, they will change the partial safety factors and they will test you whether the student can find out the different design strength as per the given data, or the same design strength which is recommended by code is going to be followed by the student. Like that, they are going to test in exam. Coming to the next one, characteristic strength, very important characteristic strength. Then values of partial safety factor for materials. After that, ideal stress strain curve for concrete, then ideal stress strain curve for steel. At which strain steel will be failed, at which strain concrete will be failed, what is the shape of design stress strain curve of concrete. This type of questions you may expect from these concepts. After that, codal specifications. My dear, codal specifications, they are not going to focus mainly in GATE exam, but in ESC exam, mostly they are going to concentrate on codal specifications, right? Okay, here given codal specifications like a cover, spacing of main steel, side face reinforcement, deep beams, effective span, effective span, then assumptions in limit state of collapse under flexure. Assumptions are very, very important. Assumptions are very, very important, you may expect. Okay, right. Next one, singly reinforced beams in limit state method. This chapter is very, very important for any competitive exam, not only for GATE and ESC, for any competitive exam, because it is also a basic chapter. In this chapter, my dear, mainly the basics will be explained. If you understand this chapter, then coming chapters will be so easy, right? Continuity will be there. Okay, coming to the analysis, here limiting depth of neutral axis. Limiting depth of neutral axis. If you check the previous year questions, my dear, most of the times they have asked about limiting depth of neutral axis. Sometimes directly limiting depth of neutral axis. Sometimes they are going to link up with the another concept. Okay, coming to the next one, stress block. What is a stress block and what are the stress block parameters? My dear, under stress block parameters, ordinates of stress block, compressive force, centroid of a stress block, tensile force, lever arm, actual depth of neutral axis. Right. Most of the times they are going to ask questions from the concept of actual depth of neutral axis. Right. Just by twisting the values, my dear, they are going to ask. Coming to the modes of failure, yes, it is also one of the important area where you need to focus, modes of failure. After that, most important concept is moment of resistance. Coming to the next one, percentage of a limiting tension steel. Percentage of limiting tension steel. Need not be find out, my dear, from the simplified formula. Even there is alternate way also to find out percentage of tension steel, right? I have discussed already, my dear. Let us check it once. Coming to the next one, percentage of tension steel for under reinforced section, area of minimum tension reinforcement. Very, very important from this chapter. Area of minimum tension steel, area of maximum tension steel, right? Most of the times they are going to ask questions from minimum steel and maximum steel. Minimum steel and maximum steel. Okay? Right. How they are going to ask questions, my dear, one concept I will explain in coming video. Coming to the next one, doubly reinforced beams in limit state method. Here, which topics you need to focus? My dear, moment of resistance, gate point of view required, but ESC point of view not required. Because calci not permitted. Without calci, finding moment of resistance is very, very difficult. Even actual depth of neutral axis, this one also gate point of view important, but ESC point of view not important. Stresses in compression steel, yes. No need to remember the stresses in compression steel, but they are going to ask a concept related question. What will be the FSC value for mild steel? What is the FSC value for HYST bars? Why it is equal to 0.87 Fy? Why for HYST bars FSC less than 0.87 Fy? This type of questions they may ask. Right, moment of resistance, my dear, gate point of view important, but ESC point of view not important. Design steps. Design steps are very, very important because they are going to ask any one line from the design steps of a beam. They don't ask complete design, but you may expect any one of the point in the design steps. Okay, right. Limiting depth of neutral axis, it is same as singly reinforced beam. If you remembered, for singly reinforced beam, same formula applicable here also. Strain in compression steel, yes, important ESC point of view. Right. Coming to the next one, total compressive force, total tensile force, my dear lever arm, this is required for gate but not required for ESC. Next chapter, flanged beams in limit state method. Here, which topics are required for gate and which topics required for ESC. Types of constructions, here only to understand what are the different types. My dear, it is required, but questions they are not going to ask based on this concept, either in gate or in ESC. Coming to the next, ideal stress distribution in the flange. From this one also you can understand how to get the effective width of the flange, from where to where we measured the effective width of flange, like that you can understand. Then effective width of flange, very, very important, gate point of view as well as ESC point of view. Coming to the next one, analysis. Total compressive force, total tensile force, lever arm, limiting depth of neutral axis, actual depth of neutral axis, moment of resistance, my dear, this complete part from here to here required for gate but not required for ESC. Not required for ESC. Some of the note points I have discussed in class, you just go through those note points, which is more than sufficient. Okay, fine. Coming to the next, area of minimum tension reinforcement and area of maximum tension reinforcement. No need to remember separately for flanged beams. If you know for a rectangular beam, a small change is required, that is, in place of B, you have to substitute BW, my dear. You will get the formulas for flanged beams. Minimum area of steel separately, no need to remember. Okay, fine. Next chapter, shear. Shear stress, only definition, what is a shear stress, right? It is for understanding. Nominal shear stress, very, very important ESC point of view. Even gate point of view also important. Shear stress distribution, yes, important gate point of view as well as ESC point of view. Shear span, important gate point of view as well as ESC point of view. Modes of failure under shear, important gate point of view as well as ESC point of view. Mechanism of shear transfer in RC beam without shear reinforcement. It is only to understand which material is going to take up the shear before cracking and after cracking. So, not required this. Coming to the design shear strength of concrete. My dear, very, very important gate point of view as well as ESC point of view. That is, tau C depends on which parameters? Tau C depends on what? Simply question is going to be asked like that in gate as well as in ESC. Then maximum shear stress in concrete. Yes, important. Gate point of view as well as ESC point of view. Critical section for shear. It is one of the most important concept, my dear, required for gate as well as for ESC. Coming to the web reinforcement. Web reinforcement. Only formulas important for ESC, but numerical questions also important for gate. Coming to the maximum spacing of stirrups, important for gate as well as for ESC. Area of minimum shear reinforcement, important for gate and ESC. Then functions of minimum shear reinforcement, important for gate and ESC. Then design steps. Here design steps required for gate, not required for ESC. Required for gate, but not required for ESC. Okay, fine. Let us move to the next chapter. Bond. Definition, what is a bond? Only definition, which is, my dear, from this definition, they are not going to ask any question. Types of bond. What are the different types of bond? My dear, here definitions required for ESC, but formulas along with the definitions required for gate. Then development length. Before that, mechanism of bond resistance, important gate point of view as well as ESC point of view, right? Then development length, yes, definition important gate point of view as well as ESC point of view. Anchorage length, yes, definition important gate point of view as well as ESC point of view, right? My dear, bond stress, then determination of development length. Determination of development length mostly required for a gate, but sometimes they are asking in ESC also. You can simplify it without calculator, my dear, development length. It's not a problem, right? So focus from ESC point of view also. Coming to the check for a development length, yes, this check is important. How to check that numerical question required for a gate, but only the condition is required for ESC. Bar bundling, important gate point of view as well as ESC point of view. Anchorage to the reinforcement, yes, required for gate as well as for ESC. Splicing concept required for gate and ESC. Even lap length will come under splicing, very, very important from gate point of view as well as from ESC point of view. Then coming to the conditions for curtailment. Conditions for curtailment, most important from ESC point of view. Coming to the next one, limit state of collapse, torsion. From this torsion chapter, questions will ask rarely. Maybe they are going to ask a question, what is equivalent shear force and what is the equivalent shear force, equivalent bending moment, equivalent nominal shear stress, right? These numerical questions, my dear, they are going to ask. Direct formula based questions, right? Gate point of view and ESC point of view, both it is important. Then types of torsions, only example important. Coming to the side face reinforcement, and some of the codal specifications also available which are required for ESC point of view but not required gate point of view. Because in gate exam, majority of the questions are numerical type, but very few questions are theoretical type, okay? So in ESC, my dear, majority of the questions are theoretical type and few numerical questions also asked in ESC. Coming to the next, SLABS. My dear, gate point of view, this chapter is not that much important. ESC point of view required. ESC point of view, very, very important this chapter. Right. This chapter you have to focus ESC point of view, but you can ignore gate point of view. Right. Coming to the next one, limit state of collapse compression. My dear, definition, slenderness ratio, right? Slenderness ratio definition, effective length of column definition, unsupported length of column definition, then classification. Especially in classification based on slenderness ratio, when do you say it is a short column and when do you say it is a long column? This type of questions there is a possibility to ask. Okay. Coming to the codal specifications, cover, what will be the minimum cover, minimum area of longitudinal steel, maximum area of longitudinal steel. These are required. Minimum diameter of longitudinal bar, minimum number of bars, and minimum eccentricity. Minimum eccentricity concept required for gate and ESC. Remaining topics, whatever so far we have discussed, all are important for ESC only. But minimum eccentricity concept required for gate as well as for ESC. Coming to the transverse steel, it is a very, very important concept from gate point of view as well as from ESC point of view. Simply they will ask a design of lateral ties like diameter and spacing. Okay, fine. Coming to the next, functions of transverse reinforcement. It is a common question, my dear, in ESC. Coming to the next one, effective length of column. Yes, effective length of column they are asking, my dear, nowadays in GATE as well as in ESC. Right, simple questions they are asking. Then assumptions, all assumptions are important. Here, assumptions in compression, okay. Then interaction curve, maybe shape important. What is the shape of interaction curve and what are the salient points on a stress strain curve you may expect. Coming to the next one, load carrying capacity. GATE point of view, very important. ESC point of view, not required. Even if it is a given, difficult to calculate, better to leave it. If load carrying capacity question given from columns chapter, difficult to solve without calculator, so better to leave it. Next one, coming to the next chapter, footings, footing definition, foundation definition, types of foundations, my dear, soil pressure distribution below the footing. IS codal specifications cover minimum and maximum area of reinforcement, minimum depth of foundation, minimum steel in a pedestal footing, minimum angle for plain pedestal, critical section for bending moment, one-way shear force and two-way shear, arrangement of reinforcement in footing, check for load at transfer, double bars, design depth of footing. Mostly in GATE point of view, they are going to ask a question from this area. How to find the depth of the footing? Otherwise, they will ask what is the shear force under one-way shear, what is the nominal shear stress under one-way shear, right? And what is the design bending moment? This type of questions asked in GATE. Only from this concept, you may expect questions in GATE, but the rest of the all you may expect for ESC, not for GATE. Okay, next chapter, limit state of serviceability. My dear, from this chapter, GATE point of view not required, ESC point of view required. Okay, coming to the next chapter, fundamentals in prestressed concrete. My dear, this is the basic chapter from prestressed concrete. I said one question minimum, maximum two questions from prestressed concrete. Okay, right. Mostly they are going to ask minimum grade of concrete in pre-tensioning and post-tensioning, right? After that, breaking of wires, then serviceability requirement. From these three areas, they may ask the question in GATE. But in ESC, from any concept, there may be a chance to ask the question. Next one, analysis of pre-stress and bending stresses. In GATE exam, my dear, analysis chapter important and losses chapter is important, right? Most of the times questions asked either from analysis or from losses, especially from load balancing concept they are going to ask. Especially question you may expect from load balancing concept or simply from stress concept, resultant stress at a section at a top and bottom fiber you may expect. Right, all topics are important for ESC, but these two are very important for GATE. Coming to the losses chapter, estimation of losses. Most of the times they are going to ask, my dear, loss of stress due to elastic deformation of concrete or loss of stress due to anchorage slip. From these two areas, they are going to ask questions mostly. Otherwise, they are going to ask question loss of stress due to friction. Okay, fine. Next chapter, deflections of pre-stressed concrete members. My dear, how to estimate the deflection under straight tendon, bent tendon, parabolic tendon, trapezoidal tendon, right? Simple question you may expect in GATE. In ESC, my dear, maybe they are going to ask for direct concept based question, formula they are going to ask, okay, not a numerical question. Coming to the next chapter, miscellaneous. This chapter, my dear, only for ESC, not for GATE. Hoyer's effect, transmission length, Hoyer's effect, transmission length, end block, bursting tensile force, permissible bearing stress, concordant cable. Then coming to the retaining walls, let me tell you, those who are preparing for ESC, my dear, there are 2-3 additional chapters than GATE. You must prepare this chapter because syllabus is less. 1 to 3 questions you may expect from these additional topics. Minimum 1 question, maximum 3 questions. Chapters 4, right? Okay, retaining walls, types of retaining walls, analysis, stability of retaining wall. Most of the times a question you may expect from stability, right? Stability for no sliding condition, for no overturning condition, and to avoid tension failure, what will be the eccentricity to be maintained? This type of questions. Coming to the staircases, especially how to estimate the self weight and how to find the effective span. When stair slab spanning longitudinally, stair slab spanning transversely, how to find the effective span? This type of questions you may expect. Coming to the next, lintels. What is arch action? Then what is the design load and what is the design bending moment? Mostly these 3 only they are going to ask. Coming to the water tanks, especially they are going to ask a question from hoop stress and meridional thrust. Hoop stress and meridional thrust. Next one, earthquake resistant design. My dear, it is not a chapter, it is a subject. 1 question you may expect. If you prepare whole the subject, you may expect 1 question. Okay, fine. Coming to the next, building materials. Under building materials, we have cement, we have aggregate, and water, then concrete. Mostly questions will ask from these 2, cement and concrete. That too based on laboratory tests. Right? My dear, in coming session, I will take up one concept based question, how they are going to ask the questions in GATE and in ESC. My dear, I will take up one question. Okay, right. I wish you all the best, my dear. Let us prepare for a GATE and for ESC. First few definitions are given, that is to understand, but there are few concepts where you need to focus to solve the numerical questions, especially GATE. There you have to stress more. I have highlighted some concepts. You have to focus mainly for GATE, singly reinforced beams chapter, shear chapter, and columns chapter. What about ESC? All chapters are important. Okay, I wish you all the best.
I am Nikhil Kumar Saha. I got AIR 1 in GATE Mechanical 2022. I was enrolled in ACE online test series program. So test series, whether it would be subject wise, topic wise or full length test, it helped me to improve my numerical solving skills in all the domain of the subjects that are included in mechanical. It helped me to cope up with the new numerical type of problems which normally students face difficulty in solving in first go. So it helped me to cope up with this type of numericals, and also I got to know through different multiple choice questions, multiple select questions which are now in the GATE Mechanical they have introduced. So I got very good quality questions, so it helped me in preparation a lot. I am Nikhil Kumar Saha. I got AIR 1 in GATE Mechanical 2022. I was enrolled in ACE online test series program. So test series, whether it would be subject wise, topic wise or full length test, it helped me to improve my numerical solving skills in all the domain of the subjects that are included in mechanical. It helped me to cope up with the new numerical type of problems which normally students face difficulty in solving in first go. So it helped me to cope up with this type of numericals, and also I got to know through different multiple choice questions, multiple select questions which are now in the GATE mechanical they have introduced. So I got very good quality questions, so it helped me in preparation a lot. I am Nikhil Kumar Saha. I got AIR 1 in GATE Mechanical 2022. I was enrolled in ACE online test series program. So test series, whether it would be subject wise, topic wise or full length test, it helped me to improve my numerical solving skills in all the domain of the subjects that are included in mechanical. It helped me to cope up with the new numerical type of problems which normally students face difficulty in solving in first go. So it helped me to cope up with this type of numericals, and also I got to know through different multiple choice questions, multiple select questions which are now in the GATE mechanical they have introduced. So I got very good quality questions, so it helped me in preparation a lot. I am Nikhil Kumar Saha. I got AIR 1 in GATE Mechanical 2022. I was enrolled in ACE online test series program. So test series, whether it would be subject wise, topic wise or full length test, it helped me to improve my numerical solving skills in all the domain of the subjects that are included in mechanical. It helped me to cope up with the new numerical type of problems which normally students face difficulty in solving in first go. So it helped me to cope up with this type of numericals, and also I got to know through different multiple choice questions, multiple select questions which are now in the GATE mechanical they have introduced. So I got very good